Yes, yes. Okay, hey, okay, all right. You guys missed my first 10 minutes of introduction. So I guess I'll do that again. Again, this is AJ, guys. We're going to give everybody, people are piling in. I really appreciate it. We're going to give people, hey, Kenya, hey, Lakeisha, Sabrina, hey, Jamila, what's up, Yaya? Hey, Margin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Marjan, Constance, Jacob, Sean, Robin, okay. Winnie, Laterica, Shantae, Ju, Juju. Hey, oh, my background is loud. Okay, all right. Is that better? Is that better? If you can hear me over the music, I just wanted to give everybody a just want to give everybody a chance to log in, and we may as well listen to Ease on Down the Road in the meantime. You know, I wake my daughter up every morning to songs that I grew up on. She's 3, so yes, she does know probably the entire Wiz soundtrack. I don't know if you guys know anything about the Wiz, but it's a great soundtrack. So I thought I'd start out with that tonight. Again, we're going to give everybody just another minute or two. People are still piling on. Okay, so tell me where you guys are calling in from. Let's see, Marquita. Hey, hey, Terica. What's up, Terica? Lakeisha. All right. Dana, what's going on? I love the Wiz. Exactly. And that's what I said. All this stuff that's on the TV these days, uh, and the music, I don't know if I want her hearing that. And I think her favorite one is actually the Mean Old Lion. Hey, Dana. Oh, we got questions already. Hey, Marquita. All right. Time is now 9:04. I think we'll give probably 2 more minutes. Is that okay with you guys if we wait 2 more minutes? And tell me where you're calling in from. I know we have Atlanta in the house. Let's see. Okay, Charlotte. We have Charlotte. Philly. What's up, Jamila in Philly? We got Texas. Okay. Whoa, that was kind of loud, Sabrina. I'm sorry about that. The Mino line just bust onto the scene. All right, so we got Philly, we got Charlotte, we have Martian in Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, hey, what's up? We got okay, Louisiana. That's my hometown or my home state. Texas, more ATL. Hey, what's up, Chantel? Hi. Hey, Kenya. All right, so the time is 9:05. We're gonna give 1 more minute, and then we're gonna get rocking and rolling. And I'm gonna try my best to get you guys out of here in an hour. I'm gonna try to give as much as I can. Definitely have an offer for you guys who really want to learn the webinar system that I've been using. So just stick around to the end, and we'll get there. Ladaska, hi Ladaska. And again, I want this to be fully interactive, guys. So there's a question, there's a hand that you can raise. And if you would somebody go ahead and raise their hand. I just want to see if I can get a live person on here. Let's see. So we have Lady Dana. You have your hand up. So here's what I'm gonna do, Lady Dana. I'm gonna mute your microphone and just say hi to you, just to make sure that we have audio on your end. All right. Anybody else want to say hi? Just raise your hand and I will unmute your microphone. Hey, Dana, can you hear me?
Hi, AJ.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's working. Perfect. Great. How are you doing?
That's fantastic. It's been a while since I heard your voice.
I'm so excited about tonight. Good to hear your voice too.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited. All right, so the time is 9:06, so we gave everybody a chance to go ahead and get logged in. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna dive right in. Give me just a second. I have some background noise I want to get rid of real quick. Hold on one second. Okay, all right. I'm back, guys. Can you hear my voice now? Can you hear my voice? If you can, just go ahead and type yes, so we can go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Let's see. We have yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. So let's do this. And again, if you guys have questions, I want you to be sure and raise your hand because I definitely want to answer all your questions and make sure that you are fully squared away. All right. So what is this that I put together for you guys? So I don't know if you guys know or not, but over the past, let me just go ahead and go through the presentation and just start talking. So I'm AJ, and I've done a ton of things, I guess, throughout my entrepreneurial and corporate career. But here lately, and this is something that I did with corporate America for years and years and years, but lately I've done tons and tons and tons of webinars. And I think over the last probably 2 years, 2.5 years, I've produced and participated in at least 400 webinars. And that's, 3, 4 times a week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, doing webinars. So you guys may recognize some of the people in this graphic we have here. Go ahead and follow me if you aren't already. I'm AJ Joyner on Instagram. But I've done webinars with Trish Sher. She's a Emmy Award winning comic. We have Nicole Garner. She's the best just in general. Rodney Ho with the AJC. And if you guys can see my screen, I'm going from left to right. I had Claudia Jordan on. And the thing is, I'm really good friends with all these people now. So my circle has grown really like crazy in the last year and a half since I started working with other people doing webinars. But that's just kind of some background for those of you who aren't on my list and don't know who I am. Wait a minute, you guys still see? Oh, wait a minute, the slides aren't moving. Interesting. Let's see. Let me know if you can see the second slide now. Let's see, audience view. Is that better now? Let's see. Okay, got it. All right, you guys should be able to see the next slide now. All right, there we go. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I've done tons and tons of webinars, over 400 in the last probably maybe 2.5 years. You guys see the people on the screen. All this is within the last probably maybe since maybe January. All right, so all the people on the screen I've been on a webinar with them since January, except for the second person on the bottom row, Egypt Sharad. She is with HGTV, and she and I are in negotiations with doing a real estate webinar. So that's going to be pretty good. There's some other people that I didn't list, but I'm in communications with. Young lady, her name is Terry J. Vaughn. She's an actress. We have, maybe you guys have heard, I'm sure you guys have heard of Jermaine Dupree. And I'm not doing this to name drop. I'm doing this to show you that people are now understanding the power of webinars, and we'll get into that in a minute, but it's a very powerful platform because you can talk to people all over the country at one time from the comfort of your home, right? So you can teach, you can educate. And again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys some background on what I have been doing. So here it is. I'm going to prove to you that in the next 2 years, webinars will be the #1 way to market to your audience and generate sales of at least $1,000 a webinar. And again, that claim is only based on the amount of work that I've been able to do and things that I've been able to see over the last year. And that's, using some of the things that we've done as far as marketing, engaging your audience, building your audience, helping if you're doing it in partnership with somebody, teaching them how to leverage their audience. And those are all the things that I'm going to cover over the next hour or so. All right. All right. So, and this is just a quote I found in Forbes magazine. I actually found this back in January. Online training, also known as e-learning, webinars, etc., is booming, and the market research firm shows that it'll reach $107 billion by the end of 2015. Right. So this came at the beginning of the year, but it's really booming. I'm sure you guys have heard of Udemy and lynda.com and all these online marketplaces. Well, I have a pretty decent library of trainings that I've compiled just from the different experts. And again, we'll talk about leveraging your expertise. And I think that I'm a believer that everybody is an expert in something. It's just a matter of understanding what your area of expertise is, understanding how to package it, and creating courses and webinars that will help you showcase that. And again, I want to show you guys tonight how I made over $3,200. And again, that was probably my best, and the number was definitely way over 3,200. But again, I think 3,200 is attainable. If you think about, getting 100 people on a webinar, and if you're selling a $150 product, $197 product, a $200 product, and you sell 25 or 30 of those at $200, it doesn't take long for the numbers to add up. And it's all doable, and it's very possible if you know exactly what you're doing. So here's a question, and I want you guys to give me feedback on this. So why is it that webinars are obliterating the competition when it comes to connecting to your audience and generating sales? I just want you guys to give me a guesstimate. Why do you think it is that webinars are becoming the hot platform to deliver training? And again, there's no wrong answer, so don't be shy. Let's see. All right, so I guess go ahead and type in the chat window or raise your hand. And if not, if you guys don't have any guesses, then that's fine too. I just wanted to open it up to you guys. Let's see here. Convenience, absolutely. You can connect without leaving your house. Absolutely. Those are two ways. Let's see. Yeah, it's online, so it's very flexible. Absolutely. Exactly. It's visual content marketing. It's accessible from multiple devices. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but if you pull out your cell phone right now and you open up the email that I sent you or that you signed up with, if you click that link, it gives you an opportunity to download the app, and you can you can watch and listen and speak to the webinar from your cell phone, right? It's very personal. And let me go ahead and just go to the next slide and see okay, someone hit this right on the head. Number one, you do it from your home. Like, you don't have to leave the comfort of your living room to do a webinar. I'm sitting right here at the kitchen table doing a webinar, and you guys are getting the content real time, live, and I'm able to interact with you. And Malcolm, exactly. Malcolm just said he's on the app now. Malcolm, let me see if I can see you on here. Hey, Malcolm, I'm going to unmute your microphone. If you can talk, let's see. Hey, Malcolm, can you hear me? Hey, Malcolm, if you're there,
Yes, I can.
You can hear me. Okay, perfect. And you're listening to it from your app right now?
Yeah, I'm actually just sitting. I'm off my personal business, off the clock right now, just resting in the bed. And I said, well, let me see if I can download the app, and clicked on the link, and I'm live from my bedroom.
That's
on my iPhone 6.
Oh, okay. You're on the iPhone 6. Okay, I'm an Android person, but we won't have that. We won't have that.
Ain't no problem.
Anyway, quick question. Oh Lord, we have people on here, Team iPhone. Okay. Quick question. Are you able to see the slides, Malcolm?
Yeah, I am.
You can see.
I am.
Okay. So there you have it. All right, Malcolm, I appreciate you. I'm going
no problem.
Microphone again. So there you have it, guys. Right there, you can be in a car, you can be in a park. I've actually done it from coffee shops. I've done it from friends' houses. I've hosted webinars sitting in my car. I was stuck in traffic, and I literally had to pull over. You guys know Atlanta traffic. I had to pull over, get off and exit, and just turn the Wi-Fi on and connect to, because I was hosting it. I've never tried to host a webinar from my phone, but I was able to turn the Wi-Fi on my phone in a car and co-host a webinar with one of my experts. Number two, another beautiful thing about this is you can choreograph the entire thing and you can practice it, right? So working with some of the experts that I've worked with in the past, they get really nervous. And again, I'm not going to call names, but I've had people who speak to thousands and thousands of people, but when they get on the webinar for the first time, because it's a new platform, not because they're not professionals, it can be nerve-wracking, right? But the beautiful part is you can choreograph the entire thing. You can rehearse it. You can have it down to an art. It's so much so that one of my experts, after we created the webinar together, she now uses that webinar infrastructure to teach her course all over the country. So when she does speaking gigs, she's using the same slides that we designed for the webinar. And actually, she's done it so much now that she almost knows it by heart. All right. Let's see, what else? So it's a friendly obstacle course. And what I mean by that is when you get someone on a webinar, there's so many different things that people have to do to get there, that you know that they're at least interested in whatever it is that you're talking about by the time they get there. So what are some of the things that you guys had to do before you got to this call tonight? And just go ahead and type in the chat. When I told you I love being interactive. So yeah, what are some of the things that you guys had to do? Go ahead and type it in the chat window and I'll read it out. Let's see, we had download the app. There you go. You had to, I'm sure, you cook dinner. Well, save me some, Marquita. Yeah, I guess you did cook dinner. Why not, right? But you guys had to, I don't know if you guys, how did you guys find out about the webinar? Just go ahead and type in the chat window how you found out about the webinar. I'm very interested to know, was it through email list? Was it a Facebook ad? Was it a Facebook app? Was it a Twitter app? A Twitter ad. How did you hear about it? Instagram. I see Facebook, email list, Twitter, Instagram. There you have it. So again, you guys had to, number one, you had to see it on some other platform beside the webinar before you actually decided to join, right? So again, number one, you had to see it. Number two, you had to go and sign up. Right, so you go to the landing page or whatever, you click on a link and then you go sign up. So there's already engagement, right? So engagement is indicative of interest. When you engage someone and they engage you back, that means there's a mutual interest. So I know, doing this webinar that you're at least interested in learning something new tonight. All right. Let's see what else. I'll just go to the next slide instead of trying to just go off the top of my head. What are some of those things? Come on, slideshow. Tell you what, we are going to do it like this. Single page view. Not scrolling. Actual size. Here we go. All right. Well, trying to go see that, and this is the kind of stuff that happens when you're the finger quote expert, right? I'm supposed to be the expert, and I can't even go to the next slide. Page navigation. Next page. All right, here we go. All right, so what are some of the things you had to do? You had to click the ad, you had to sign up, you had to open the email, you had to register, and then you had to log in tonight, right? So again, those are 5 interactions that you had before you could even hear Ease On Down the Road in the Wiz, right? So, and for those of you who missed it in the very beginning while we were waiting for everybody to join, I did a little, our little background music was the Wiz, so you guys missed a treat if you missed that. Anyway, so yeah, there were a bunch of things that you guys had to do before you got here. Here we go. All right, so more proof that webinars are definitely where the future is, and they work. Number one, webinars position you as an expert. So if I were on here and I were teaching you guys, I used to do nightclub promotions. So one of the things I had to do before I could do that was build an email list. So if I were on here teaching you guys how to build an email list, I would be positioned as the expert. Does anybody have an idea why webinars would position you as an expert? Anybody? Just 1 or 2 answers. And again, I love being interactive because I love the back and forth between you guys. So why is it that you think webinars position you as an expert? Not everybody all at once. Okay, there we go. Exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head. 2 things. Number one, because you are standing at the podium. And if you guys have ever been at a conference or if you've ever given a conference, you know the power of the podium. That's actually a saying, the power of the podium. So you're standing at the podium. And absolutely, Malcolm, a lot of the things that I'm saying, I'm sure you guys there's some like very loose knowledge of it. And if you have done webinars before, and just by show of yeses, how many of you guys have ever hosted a webinar? Just say yes, whether it was successful or not. Have you ever hosted or a webinar? Perfect, because you're standing at the podium. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, we have 3 or 4 people who have hosted webinars. Jamila, you're exactly right. You have to showcase your knowledge, right? So again, I'm showcasing the fact that I have done this. I've done, a couple hundred of these. I have people that I've done them with. And you can go check my check my footwork. You can go check Instagram and you will see, some of the people that I've actually done, webinars with, right? So, and you can also check their Instagram or their social media accounts just for verification. So yeah, it absolutely proves that you're an expert. All right. What can you do with webinars? You can teach, you can coach, and I think Sabrina, you said that you have live real-time interaction. So if you guys have questions, if I'm the quote expert, then I should be able to answer your questions on the fly, right? So again, it allows you the opportunity to test my knowledge, and I really want you guys to do that. If there are any questions that you want to know, just ask. Like I'll tell you, and if I can't tell you, I will research, and then you'll get an email tomorrow about whatever the answer is. But I've done enough of these to know my way around webinars. And that's why I'm here to package that and share it with you guys. All right. Let's see. All right. So the campaigns to fill up an email, a webinar. So here are some of the things you have to master. Number one, you have to get them to sign up. And how do you do that? So there's I've seen people that are doing webinars, and I'm starting to see them more and more. There's a specific way that you get people to sign up. There's a lot of times people will create a webinar and they will talk about, instead of talking about, wait, here's a question. Let me make sure I don't want to miss any questions. AJ, I downloaded the app on my awesome Android. Cool. Sweet. All right. So yes, number one, you got to get people to sign up. So if you list a webinar and you're like, hey, I have a webinar that I'm doing, and it's going to be $250, and I want you to sign up because I'm the best person who's ever done, whatever blogging. I'm the best blogger in the world, and I think you should sign up for my webinar. Chances are people won't sign up for a couple different reasons. Number one, you saying that you're an expert doesn't hold as much weight as you being able to show proof that you've done things to make you an expert, right? So just in your marketing, you have to be careful with how you position yourself, because remember, this is a quote I heard from one of my managers a long time ago. You can be Jesus in your own land. So in other words, everybody in the world that was around Jesus, they knew him, and they kind of were like, oh, well, that's just Jesus. But people around the world were like, oh, wow, Jesus is dope. We've heard all these things about him. But Jesus didn't walk around, bragging about things. He walked around actually doing things, right? So, and again, I'm not getting religious or any of that stuff. I'm just saying. All right. So just be careful in your marketing when you're trying to get people to sign up, because, one or two bad things will affect your sign up rate. Number two, you got to get people to show up. So how do you get people to show up? You get people to show up by maybe, and I didn't do this with this one. I'm bad, slapping my own hand. But I wanted to get this done this week. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And I know typically right after a holiday is not the best time to start. So I didn't get to market this as much as I wanted. But I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. Screw it, I'm doing it. But you got to get people to show up. And how do you get them to show up? One way is to communicate. Once someone signs up to your email, send them an email. Tell them, hey, in order for you to join the webinar, here's what I need you to do. I need you to log in at this time. I need you to click this link. I need you to be in a room that's quiet. I need, you list the things that you need people to do to be able to participate in the webinar, right? So first you get them to sign up, then you get them to show up. Next thing you have to do, you have to follow up, right? So again, after the webinar is over, people have questions, and this happens every time, whether I'm doing it in partnership or not. People want to know, hey, you know what, that was awesome. Can I watch it again? Hey, can I share that with my friend? Or, whatever. So you have to follow up and figure out what it is that people want, and how you can accommodate whatever it is that they want. All right. All right. So when and what to email and why. So, all right. So the number one day that you can do webinars on, and there's tons of research on this, the best day to do webinars is on I'm reading it Tuesday and saying Monday. The best days to do webinars is on a Tuesday. has been proven through research. And again, it follows the same pattern: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Sabrina, I know you're an expert in social media. I think the social media engagement follows sort of the same pattern as far as when people are engaged the most. And I'm not sure if those are the days, but if I remember correctly, it's sometime during midweek is when it's kind of at its height. And I know it does vary by platform. I think Instagram may have a lot of engagement like on maybe Friday night because everybody's out snapping selfies and doing their thing. But these are the best days to host webinars. So marketing strategies. All right. So typically, and again, I didn't follow this, so shame on me, but typically you want to do 2 to 3 weeks of marketing. So week number 1, what you want to do is you want to coordinate all of the partners that you have in your webinar marketing strategy. So if you have, 3 partners that are going to be experts on your webinar, and you have, 5 or 6 friends. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. If you have 3, Sabrina was saying sorry for the delay, but yes, it's very similar for social media following the same pattern. Again, so if you're marketing a webinar, number 1, you want to start 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Excuse me. And what you want to do is you want to coordinate that effort. So if I have Sabrina on and I have Dana on and I have Yaya on and they're going to help me promote, what I want to say is, hey guys, listen, today at 1 o'clock, we're going to do this mass push. So all of us at the same time, we're going to push, we're going to send out this flyer and it's going to talk about whatever this thing is, right? And then you want to say, okay, well, you want to coordinate from 3 weeks all the way down to the actual day. So before you do that, you need to create a schedule that has everything that's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And it's very simple. I won't go into a ton of details, but you want to say, okay, so day 1, we're all going to push it. And then day 2, Sabrina, you're going to write an article and I'm going to do a YouTube video. And then someone else is going to have one of their friends post it on their Instagram. Then day 7, we want to have, these 3 things, right? But then the second week, you want to start to tell a story. If you have an email list, you want to write to your email list, hey, listen, I have a webinar coming up, guys. And I don't know if you've seen it on social media, but hey, here's what it's about. Here are the benefits for it. And hey, go here to sign up. The second week, you also want to have a second email that says, you know what, guys, why did I do this webinar? Well, for years and years and years, I've been doing X, Y, and Z. And in my case, I'm using myself as an example. I've been doing webinars for all this time that so many people have been hitting me up like, AJ, I want to learn how to do webinars so that I can do them for my audience, or I have clients that I want to do them for, or whatever. So I could easily chop up it or pop open an email and send it out to my email list to say, hey, I'm doing this webinar because so many people that I know, they understand how to do them, but they don't have the exact formula to convert at a high rate. And then the week 3 or the week of the webinar, there are 2 that are very important that you want to have. Is the day before, and this is for email lists. So the day before, you want to tell your audience exactly how excited you are to do your webinar and how big tomorrow is going to be, right? So that's the day before. Same thing for social media. And you don't want to post the same flyer. And I've been guilty of this. I know better, but sometimes I'm juggling 2 or 3 clients at a time. But what you want to do is you want to take pictures of people, maybe have a picture of yourself in front of your computer and say, hey guys, I'm preparing for this webinar, whatever. I'm really excited about it tomorrow night. And you give them the link, right? It's different than just posting a flyer all the time, because what happens is once a person reads the flyer once and they like it maybe the first time, then you'll see the engagement start to trend downward, right? So if you have the resources, you can hire you can hire a graphic designer to design multiple flyers that have the different messages on them. But typically you want to use real-time, like real pictures, and talk about what you're going to do. And then the next most important email is the morning of. You want to let people know, listen, tonight is going down. Meet me on the webinar. It's going down. So again, the day of email is very important as well. All right. So really quickly, I've been talking now, and I know I've been talking a lot because I'm starting to get dry mouth. So any questions so far? Any questions that you have, go ahead and just shoot them to me. I want to go ahead and start answering questions. So either raise your hand or type it in the chat window. Any questions so far? I think it's a good stopping point. I'm making pretty good time too, so have me a nice drink of water. All right, so I have a question. Okay, on the marketing strategy. Okay, so again, you don't have to be an expert. To answer your question, you don't need a marketing team. You don't have to be an expert. It's literally just a matter of laying out you can print out a calendar. Just Google calendar or a 1-month calendar with the blank days at the top. You want to put the day you're going to have the webinar on there and then count 3 weeks back, right? So print a calendar, put the day you're going to have the webinar, count 3 weeks back, and then list activities that you're going to do every week. Again, list the people that are going to be involved, who's going to be doing what they're going to be posting. I would even get down to the exact post, what it's going to be. Let's see. Yes, it is. With webinars being so popular, what can you do to stand out? So that's a tricky question and a loaded question. I think as far as standing out, I think it's the way you present your information, right? And again, if you're in a marketplace where a lot of people are doing this, because this is what I do, I notice every single webinar, and I'm constantly thinking like, man, this is going to get saturated. It's going to get saturated. People are going to stop going. But it hasn't happened. And think about social media, right? Social media is really, really popular, but the people that stand out are the people that have unique perspectives, the people that have unique content to offer, the people who have unique personalities, the people that offer value, right? So if you think about, again, think about a Saturday night. There are a million places to go, but you typically end up at the places that, number one, you're interested in. So there's always going to be people that are interested in the way that you deliver things, that are interested in the way that you deliver value, that they may not resonate with another person. I think I've had people tell me that, hey, AJ, I just really enjoyed your webinar. I enjoyed the way you present, blah, blah, blah. And, someone else can present the same webinar. As a matter of fact, I had a guest on one of my webinars, and to me, she was extremely polished. She was extremely sharp, and she was talking about, a platform. I won't say what it was because I don't want to give it away. But she wasn't resonating with people because she came off as, kind of, I don't know, not attached or not connecting with them. So the results were not as good as she expected them to be, even though, her following is 10 times the size of mine. The audience connected with me and they just didn't connect with her. So again, Sabrina, that's a very, very good question. But I think the differentiators are, number one, the content that you're providing. Number two, the person that's actually hosting. Number three, is the value that you're offering them different than the value that's out there? So in other words, you can have, there are 25 universities in Atlanta, Georgia. Why did you choose to go, to the one that you chose to go to? Let's see, another question. How many times a week would you promote your webinar leading up to the webinar date? So it depends on the week. If it's the week of, typically webinars are going to be on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So if it's on a Tuesday, of course, you do the Tuesday, the day before and the day of. If it's on a Wednesday, I will typically do that Monday. I may do social media, but I'm definitely do the day before and the day of. And if it's on a Thursday, I would do that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and maybe just do a different platform. In other words, my email list would only be engaged the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I may do social media or something on the Monday of that week if it's on a Thursday. All right. So let me keep it moving. Let's see. All right. So the best webinar, and I told you guys a while back, I was going to tell you my best webinar that I did. This was last December. It was literally, I forgot, it's the 20. I think I did it on the 23rd. I actually took a screenshot of my PayPal, and I deleted out people's personal information. But this is from one night in a webinar. Literally, I think I did it on the 23rd. So this is from one night. This is a real screenshot. It's not no, made up stuff. One night $197 product. And I had some other like payment plans that people could do. So that's why you'll see some of the varying dollar amounts. But again, this is from one night, and some of these things aren't for that specific webinar, so ignore that stuff. But I blanked out everything that I could. This is from one night on a webinar, right? So again, right before Christmas, the wifey was happy. She didn't really want nothing but one of those, what do you call it? The Keurig, the coffee maker joints. So she wanted a Keurig coffee maker. And of course I got her a Keurig, and we had a pretty good Christmas. So, and this was for my course on publishing a book in 30 days or less, right? So again, I wrote the program, I actually wrote the book, and then I created a course around it because so many people were saying, hey, I want to write a book, I want to write a book. So I created a course. And now I actually still have the course. I haven't sold it. I think I did it once earlier this year, but I didn't sell the full course. I sold the downloadable course. So I didn't sell the 4 or 6 week course. I gave them the full thing, and they were able to download it and do it their own way. All right. So again, this is from one webinar. Now, to say it happened in in 1.5 hours, that's how long. Let me go back to the other side. So yes, 1.5 hours is sort of a misnomer because it took 3 weeks worth of promotion leading up to that webinar, and I think I started right before Thanksgiving is when I sent out my first thing, and then right before Christmas is when I actually did it, right? So again, there's definitely an opportunity if you're an expert or if you know experts. Again, I was able to leverage people in my network and people. And the funny thing is, once I started doing that, people started introducing me to other people because they were having success. And one person in particular said, dude, I literally just made more money with you in 1 hour than I did at a week working at one of the local media stations that she worked at, right? Or 10 days, I think she said. And this is television, right? So again, they work. If you're an expert and if you know an expert, they're not hard to do. All right, so what do you need to accomplish similar results? Well, number one, I will tell you it doesn't start out as easy as it looks. You're like, oh, I just have a webinar, I'm gonna have 100 people on there and I'm gonna sell 25 of them at $100 and boom, 25. It doesn't start out like that. I think my first webinar years ago, I think I probably had 8 or 9 people on there. But again, you have to keep doing it because you're gonna get better. And as you get better and you learn more, you apply it to the next time you do it. So number one, I want everybody to answer these questions in here in the chat, in the question box. What is your superpower? In other words, what is your expertise? Go ahead and type it in the chat window. What is your expertise? I know you guys are all experts in something. So type your expertise, what you would likely create a course about. Inquiring minds want to know. I tell you what, and Jennifer, you just raised your hand, Jennifer Rivera. Jennifer, I'm going to unmute your microphone and let's see. Hey, Jennifer, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hey, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So first of all, where are you calling in from or dialing in from?
From Georgia, from Palmetto, Georgia, small town.
Okay, Palmetto. Isn't that what is that? 85 South past Union City, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, so wait, what is Palmetto known for? Just curious. Everybody's known for something.
Palmetto is known for, well, for a long time it was known for having one stoplight. Now there's 2.
There you go. Y'all, 100% growth, right?
That's right.
So, what is your, Jennifer, what is your expertise, or what is it that you could probably sit down and talk about? If someone said, hey, Jennifer, what can you teach me about in about an hour or 2? Like, what is it that you've done that you can teach someone else?
About childbirth. I specialize in childbirth education. So anything that has to do with pregnancy, how to cope with pregnancy, labor, childbirth education, how to support women, throughout the whole process. I can talk about all of that.
Wow. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to do something real time here, and this is definitely off script, so we may go a little bit long because I really want to do this now. So I'm gonna tell you guys,
Okay.
can you guys see my screen still? I'm gonna do something here. Can you guys see my screen? Um, if you can see my screen, go ahead and type yes.
Yes.
If you can see my screen, go ahead and type yes. I'm gonna show you guys how to reverse engineer any subject that you want. All right. And this is something I'm gonna go into in more detail in the training. So I'll tell you what. So she just said childbirth, and I'm gonna do this real time so you guys can understand how easy this is. So you said childbirth.
Yes.
All right, so childbirth, we're going to do childbirth in books. No, I'll tell you what, we're going to do this.
Okay.
We're going to go to, what is it, Kindle, and then we're going to do childbirth, and we're going to do search in Kindle. All right, so look at all these books in childbirth. And now this first book in childbirth, I'm going to minimize. Can you make sure, I want to make sure you guys can see this because I'm doing this real time. And let's see, I'm going to answer your questions too, but I'm going to show you exactly how you can find an expert. So you're an expert in childbirth, but this lady's name is Mae Gaskin. She is okay. She has 1,200 reviews, so that lets you know she sold quite a few books on childbirth, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. She sold that many books. Let's take a look inside her Kindle book. And you will notice that on, I think this is birth stories. Let's see. Introduction to childbirth. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see if we go here. Extraordinary. Okay, so maybe this isn't, I'm looking for, hold on one second. Close.
The whole first half of this book is childbirth stories.
Oh, is it? Oh, you already read it?
Yeah.
Oh, seriously? Okay. So, let me go to another one then. All right. So let's see. More childbirth. Epidurals. Epidurals without guilt. Childbirth without fear. Without fear. Let's look at this one. And this is a Kindle hardcover. Oh, whoa. Yeah, whoa. That graphic caught me way off guard. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so what? Okay, here we go. All right. So now you look at the table of contents, right? This book is fairly popular. Do you guys? I mean, let me see here. Give me a second. Jennifer, quick question.
Okay.
If you were to take this outline and you were to create a course based on this outline, and you rename the outline something that fit you, do you think you could talk for an hour about the obstetrics, motherhood from many points of view, philosophy of childbirth? Do you think you could take this outline and rewrite the outline in your own words and then teach about it over a 4-week period of time?
Oh, yes, easily.
Now, here's another thing. So, Ina Gaskin, I don't know who she is. Ina Mae Gaskin. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to do a quick search for Ina Mae Gaskin. Let's see. Ina Mae. All right. So Ina Mae. Okay. Ina Mae books. Okay. Let's look at her Wikipedia page. Can you guys still see my screen? Can you guys still see my screen? If you can see my screen, type yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. So what we want to do, so if you reached out to Ina Gaskin and you had a course on childbirth, do you think you could possibly contact Ina Gaskin and say, hey, Ina, listen, I'm a huge fan of yours. I've read your book. It really changed my life. Is it possible for me to talk to you for 10 minutes about childbirth? I mean, I'm talking cold email, the whole night. And I have templates for all this stuff because this is, believe it or not, this is how I found some of my experts. One gentleman who's a public speaker, and we're in negotiations now. His name is Eric Thomas. He's E.T. the hip hop preacher. Cold email, and now I've been featured in their blog. So I cold email, and this guy has millions of people following him all over the place. And I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Let's see. E.T. the hip hop preacher. Let's see. E.T. inspires. I think that's where I was, or is it ET Inspires? Anyway, so I guess the point is experts are a lot easier to find than you probably, let's see, blog. Webinar Success Series. This is one day ago. Oh God. So it's been a while. I wonder how far back I am. Anyway, so I reached out to ET because I'm a huge fan of his, and because when I was going through my recovery from cancer, and let's see, that's a month ago. I actually listened to some of his motivational stuff, right? So I reached out and like, look, here's what I'm doing. Thank God it's Monday. ET saved my life. I reached out to him and said, hey, here's what I'm doing, man. I'm doing webinars. I'm really inspired by the work that you do. And I would love to have you on one of my webinars as an expert. And again, he was out of the country. I think he was going to, I think he was actually in Seattle at the time. And he's been to Australia. He's been everywhere. And let's see, 2 months ago, this had to be maybe April. Yeah, that's me right there, right? So anyway, that's me for the, I'm the one in the bed. So anyway, so I was able to reach out to him, cold email, and now, you know, they turn around, they feature me on their blog. We're working on schedules to have him on my webinar as a featured guest. And let's do this. Let's go look at his social media following. ET, the hip hop preacher, on Instagram. ISTA. Instagram. All right. So again, cold email. He will be. We just have to work out the details. And again, this guy has millions and millions. I don't know how many millions yet. Let's see. Okay, 222,000 followers. That's just on Instagram. That's not including his YouTube. That's not including anything else. Only because I did a cold email and reached out to him. So if you build a platform, and you start working on it, and you have a great niche, with the motherhood niche, right? So Jennifer, that's something that you probably could have 4 to 5 experts in no time flat that are on your webinar. So when you start marketing your webinar, you can say, listen, I have a webinar with whatever her name is, Ina Gaskin or whatever her name is. You can have her on as an expert. Like, and it's not, I promise it's not hard to do because I've done it over and over again. I have templates and everything that I mean, it's part of what I'm putting together. Let me take some of these questions. All right. Any questions that you guys have that I missed? Let's see. Yep, we have, grant management. That's another great one. That's very niche. Social media, digital strategy, PR, absolutely. Mental health and physical health. Right. So all these niches that you guys have, there are huge opportunities, excuse me, for you to create a training. Let me get a sip of water. Sorry about that. There are huge opportunities for you to create your own webinar on your platform, and do it. Does anybody have any questions? Is this making sense? I know I kind of went down and I took too much time doing that, but is this making sense? Are you guys seeing how this can apply to your business? And Jennifer, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a website that you want to tell everybody about to go check out?
Oh, sure, yeah. You can check me out. It's www.abeautifulcreationdoula.com.
Beautiful Creation Doula, DOULA?
DOULA, yep, you got it.
.com. And what about Instagram or social media?
Yes, I'm on everything. Well, I'm not on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, I think, LinkedIn.
Sweet.
That's pretty much everything. So,
okay. So
for all of that, it's pretty much a beautiful creation doula. Yeah.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and mute your microphone again.
Okay.
All right. So questions. Let me go to the microphone to see other questions. You mentioned working with experts, but can you speak more to why you would incorporate them? Is your thought here that you would bring in other experts if you're... So a couple different reasons. Number one, and this was my thought process going in, I have a decent following that I built through other things that I've done, but when my expert, if I had an expert in something that I'm familiar with, once they talk about me on their platform, then all of a sudden that catapults me into a different conversation, right? Because I went from working with, one or two experts to now I have a waiting list of people that want to work with me. And I'm talking people who are, again, I don't want to name drop or any of that, but I have people who have great, like in movies and blockbuster films that just dropped a couple weeks ago, producers that are like, hey, we can't wait to, to get started with you. And I'm pretty much booked on doing experts out till next summer, right? And this is outside of me just doing my stuff. I was advised by one of my mentors or my coach that I should stop and go ahead and start teaching other people how to do this so that I'm not the only person running around trying to do everything, right? So my thought process was, let me find some people who have huge followings, and then if I can showcase them, that enters me into a totally different conversation. Thank you, Sabrina. That enters me into another conversation. So again, if you're an expert in social media and you build a platform where you're talking about social media and you feature some people who are top social media people, and they, you teach the course and they validate some of what you're saying, now all of a sudden it's like taking a picture with it's like being on Oprah, right? Not, I mean, not to that extreme, but again, if you're the person on stage with the other person, it doesn't matter that you're the person who literally just built the stage, like physically nailed the wood together, and you're just sitting up there because you've been honored. People are going to look at you as being on the stage with them, so they're going to say, hey, so who is he? So I know, the doula lady, but who is the I know the lady who wrote the book with the 1,500 people, but who are you, right? So again, it just catapults you into a different conversation, but that's a great question. All right, so I'm way behind now. All right, so I know you got superpower. Once you whatever it is that you decide to do, whether you get an expert, whether you don't get an expert, move fast, right? Again, people are busy. If you have something you want to teach them, don't waste time. You want to be the first to market. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't be late, go to market later. But what happens is what I've seen people do is um, they'll know how to do something and then they're scared. They're like, oh my God, what if I mess up? What if nobody shows up? What if something happens? Why me? A lot of people have, I forgot what they call that, imposter syndrome, where it's like, what am I doing teaching a class on being a doula? I don't have 15,000 likes on my book. I don't have that many downloads. Listen, as long as you know more about the subject matter than the people that you're teaching, then hey, you're the expert in the room, right? So again, it's about cultivating that audience and you becoming that expert. Does that make sense, guys? So far, so good. We're doing all right. Then after that, create your course, create your webinar, whatever it is. Just position, again, create it, get it out there, get it out to the universe, get it out to the world. And then once you get it out there, you can start your tweaking, right? And then once you get it out there, sign them up for your course, build your website, get them to sign up. Next thing you know, you're on a webinar rocking and rolling. All right. So anyway, all right, we're gonna keep this thing pushing. All right. Here it is. To be clear, if you have yet to be successful, there's really nothing wrong with you. It could be for very small, insignificant reasons. Ooh, I butchered that. This is my first time using my mouth today. But I guess the point of this is there's nothing wrong with you. Like sometimes we just need one little tweak. And I think someone just said they just needed to hear that. Sometimes you just need to hear the right thing. And that will be your tipping point for pushing you over the ledge or pushing you off out of the bird's nest or over the ledge. Right. So there are tons of reasons or tons of little small tweaks that you can make. All right. So here we go. Has this been helpful? Is there, I'll tell you what is it? List one or two things that you guys have learned today so far. If you have learned anything, if you learned something, go ahead and list something that you've learned or something that maybe opened your eyes or talk to me. I want to hear feedback from you guys. And go ahead and raise your hand. I want to hear some other voices. Somebody raise their hand. Tell me, is this, well, first of all, just say yes if this has been helpful. If it's been helpful, just say yes. Just type yes, 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 yes. Yep, I needed to hear that. Yep. Okay. What was the next question I have on here for you guys? And no, so you guys don't have any questions. The next question is our webinar something that you're interested in doing to learn, to grow your business? Oh, I like seeing your research process. Pretty awesome, right? I mean, it's just reverse engineering. Oh, the best time to do a webinar and how to build a list of subtopics. Absolutely. Training was helpful. Perfect. All right. Lastly, any other questions? Any other questions that you guys have? And then I'm going to tell you guys about the program that I have created for you guys. And I want you to stick around to the end because I do want to take all your, let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to turn your expertise into the webinar process platform. Oh, we're going to get into all that stuff. All right. So, and again, let me go ahead. Interested in doing webinars to grow. Okay, and Angela, if you don't mind, would you type your niche in the window again for me? Or I'll tell you what, can I unmute your microphone, Angela? Let's see here. All right, so Angela, I have unmuted your microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so what was your area of expertise?
Grant management.
Oh, grant management. That's another awesome one. So have you said you have done a webinar before, or you're interested in doing webinars?
I'm interested in doing a webinar.
Got it. Okay. So again, I showed you part of the research process as far as, putting your outline together. And well, first of all, Angela, where are you calling in from or dialing in from?
I'm calling in from Atlanta,
Oh,
Georgia.
ATL in the house. All right. And you have a website?
I do not yet.
Not yet. Okay, good. And so here's another thing. You don't need a website to get started. That's another thing I want to
Okay.
keep you guys' heads is, and I'm going to thank you so much, Angela. I'm going to go ahead and mute your microphone. But a lot of times what we do is we'll have a goal that we want to accomplish, but we won't start because we don't have the things that we think we need. So, and again, I am the exact same way. Before I did this, I had a talk with, I don't know how many of you guys know Nicole. And I was like, well, Nicole, I need to do this, I need to do that. The same thing that I tell other people not to do, I found myself doing it. And that's why we're on the call now. Because I said, you know what? I'm not going to wait 3 weeks. I'm just going to put this thing together. I'm just going to put it together and do it. So I've been documenting my process for probably a couple of months. So I had the process down and I had all the templates. I have all my document. Everything is ready for me to teach. But I was saying, well, I need to get a logo. I need to get a name. I need to get before you know it, I just wasn't doing nothing. So don't let any of those things stop you. All right. All right. Any other questions? Here's your chance to fire away, guys. And I'll tell you what, while you do this, I'm going to put on the whiz again. Let's see. Have I found a niche? Have I found a niche that you weren't able to do a webinar for? Not yet. I think I have a model that's queued up to do a webinar. And she does a class live right now for her modeling course. But after talking with her, we figured out there's more to being a model than just walking. How you have to find photographers, you have to be professional when you're on set, or I don't know if it's called set, but there's etiquette involved. There's people that don't understand the different types of modeling and the pros and cons of each type of modeling. Like all that is valuable information that if I were a model, and I'm definitely not a model, actually I probably could be a model if I, you know what I'm saying, just shave. But anyway, yeah, there are a lot of things that are ancillary that you may not think that will be of value, that you can create a course from, right? So you can really go deep into your subject matter, Ayana. Yes, you can. But you have to think about it from the perspective of, again, if your class is on fitness training, on if you're a physical trainer, what can you teach people? Is it mindset? Because a lot of people have mindset issues. Is it nutrition? Can you get on and talk with them? Maybe. And again, a webinar doesn't always have to be a series. You can have a 2-hour webinar that people pay for. one of the things that I'm thinking about moving toward, I'm not sure yet, is just doing a Saturday webinar where it's a 4-hour deal, and we do it for an hour, and then we take a break, and then we come back later in the day, we do it for another hour, and we take another break. You know, there are different ways you can break it up, right? So again, I just want to make sure that I answered those questions. All right, so here we go. Testimonials. So these are real testimonials from real people. This is Nicole. I can vouch for AJ's webinar method. I was able to connect over 550 women, new entrepreneurs. And again, we had 2 nights before we actually started our course. So, and it was over 550 women, right? If you're ready to push past your nervousness and you're push past the nervousness in your gut, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. 100 female entrepreneurs kicked off with webinars and have grown every single day since the first webinar. So not only, here's another benefit of the webinar. Once you finish the webinar, you can actually package that webinar and sell it over and over again. That's what Nicole is doing with hers. So she finished the course, and now we have all the modules recorded. So now people can download the entire course at one time, and guess how long she can sell that? Forever. Because what she's talking about, it doesn't change from year to year, month to month, year to year. So she can always market that webinar, that package. So again, that's one. Let's see who else. Christy Childs, life coach. If you're looking for a system to teach you how to market, reach your audience, blah, 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 you can't go wrong with webinars, and it's just more of the same. This is with Rashawn Ali. And she's one person. I said, dude, we were talking about all these other things of marketing that we were going to do together. And I said, Rashawn, why don't we just do a webinar? And she was extremely nervous. She was like, I don't do technology like that. And by the end of it, Rashawn was running stuff, right? So again, she doubled her email list. So think about that for a minute. When you grow your email list, because think about it, when people sign up, whether or not they show up, you still have an opportunity to add them to your funnel. Right? So again, they may sign up for her email list. She may email them in 6 months about an event that she's doing that they got to pay for. And now they just paid $20 to get into her event, and boom, booyah, right? So when exactly she took the webinar and it was great. All right. So these are benefits that I didn't even outline in here. This is Jay Carter. He and I did our webinar last week. Was it last week? I think it was a week ago tonight, as a matter of fact. No, it wasn't. It was 2 weeks ago, I think. Anyway, a couple weeks ago or a week ago, whatever. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So again, that's Jay, and that's my dude. Like Jay and I've known Jay. I think I have a picture of me and Jay 10 years ago when I was at a little tiny radio station somewhere here in Atlanta, outside. And again, we were on the phone. We were on the phone for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and we made a quick, nice little piece of change, right? I'm not supposed to say piece of change on the call. Okay. This is Joy, my homegirl. Like Joy and I are literally, it's almost like we grew up together, but we didn't. So Joy, she's taking hers to another level. So again, we got 700 people signed up for her webinar. 700. I think she had the most out of everybody as far as signups so far, right? So the webinar, she actually travels around the country now doing eyebrow courses and teaching the business of beauty. She uses the same webinar that we created as her stump speech when she was with Brana Brothers a couple weeks ago, and she's teaching these courses. Her intro comes directly from the webinar that we created. So again, and of those 700 people, a lot of those people come to her store now and get their eyebrows done, and she's constantly emailing those people all the time now. So here's what I want to do, guys. I want to introduce the program that I put together. It's Webinar Vanna. Her eyebrows are the truth. And this is, again, I had to hurry up and try to create a logo, Webinar Vanna. And the name is kind of lame, but I don't know if you guys know what Nirvana is. And I just kind of did the whole little portmanteau, you know what I'm saying, mix them up together. Anyway, Webinar Vanna, and it's a 6-week program. So again, this is more in depth than some of the ones that I did with the experts, because they're not as technical, but I'm going to show you literally every single thing in the process, from setting up websites, and I'm going to go let me just go through this and then I'll talk about what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna teach you the entire platform, start to finish, how to make your first $1,000, how to establish yourself as an expert, how to increase your customer base. And what I mean by that is growing your email list, how to host webinars or workshops just like this one, and how to release a program in days. Like you can literally, I can sit with, let's see, Jennifer. I can sit with Jennifer tonight if she called me right after we hung up, and by tomorrow, or when, well, I don't want to say tomorrow because I'm gonna go to bed tonight, but by Friday, we could have a course ready for her, like literally to where she could start marketing it Monday. So that's the kind of detail that we're gonna go into in this course. But anyway, let me just go through the modules. Week 1, your starring role, planning your vision and your value for rave-worthy performance. 3 things you must determine before you get started. What is the true purpose for your training and knocking it out of the park? 4 ways to reveal quickly the perfect topic for you. And I think the beautiful thing here is most of you guys already know what you're going to talk about. It's just a matter of figuring out how to turn it into a webinar. Week 2, preview, how to create buzz. Now we talked about a little bit the promotional calendar, how to manage all the moving pieces and parts, because there are a lot of moving pieces and parts. And then eight emails that you need to have. Again, we talked about some. We talked about the day before. We talked about the day of. We talked about one that talks about why you do it. But there are several other emails that you can send out over the 3-week period. And I have 8 emails that I've seen that work the best to get people on your email to convert. Number 3, designing your webinar. Creating cue cards. So in the beginning, just depending on how comfortable you are with the microphone, you may want to have cue cards. I don't need them anymore. I kind of just go for it, right? But again, how to create those cue cards, how to warm up your audience, ways to get people comfortable, and then dealing with issues on the fly. Well, you guys seen that tonight. Like I couldn't progress my slides, and I think at one point you couldn't see the next slide. So little things like that are going to happen. So I want to make sure that you're ready to you're prepared to deal with those things. All right. Week 4, dress rehearsal. So 11-step program for the day before and the day after. The day before and the day of. Now I probably should put the day after because that's where the follow-up happens. But again, there's a way to do that. How to warm up your audience. I think I actually put that on there twice. My bad. Create so much value that your audience can't wait to learn. So again, how can you make your course so valuable that people are like, okay, and even if they don't take it, they're like, dang, like they're up later on, like, damn, should I take it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want people to do. So week 5, the after party, how to create even more fortune and fame. And again, so any questions here? True that. Okay. Yeah. So we're in how to host a video replay. So that's very important because I'll go back to the one I did with Jay. Like, we had that night, we had a certain special, and then we set up a replay, and we allow people to go visit the replay for a while after that, right? So let's see. As a matter of fact, give me a second here. Let me pop over and see one thing. Can you guys still see my screen? If you guys can see my screen, go ahead and type yes. Yes. Can you see? What do you guys see on the screen? Let me take a look here and see what you guys see. Okay, so I'm going to switch over real quick. All right, I'm switching over. All right, so here's the replay. So for you guys who were on the call, I'm just using this as an example. So after Jay and I did his call, we put up the replay, right? And we allow people to go in and watch the replay. So here I still have it up. You can actually go back and you can watch the webinar again. We're going to follow that up with, your Q&A session. So this is the same design. And again, I introduced Jay as an expert. We had a lot of fun on that call. All right. So let me go back to what I'm actually supposed to be talking about. And I think I'm ADD sometimes, so I can jump around. I hope you guys are following me. Okay. Let's see here. Is any questions? You have someone that wants to sign up. Oh, that's sweet. Okay, cool. All right. So let let me go. All right, so the after party, how to create, like after it's all said and done, getting more eyes on the replay. So we did a bunch of different things. We actually sold Jay's training for probably about a week and a half after after we did it, right? So again, there are different things that you can do. Week 6, behind the scenes, and this is the part where a lot of people get caught up. So technology, and this is again understanding the technology. How do I capture the email addresses? How do I connect my webinar? How does they automatically sign up for the website and it automatically registers them for the webinar? And how does that automatically add them to the email list? Like there's one thing that you do that connects everything. And I know there's one platform that does it all. And I can show you guys like what it is, how to integrate those guys together, right? And that just makes things easier. So you're not, every email that you get, you're not going and manually adding it to adding it to an email list and then turning around and adding it to a webinar platform. No, there's one that you can do that will integrate everything. All right. All right. So this is finding your expert. This has been the most beneficial thing to me. Sabrina, I know you had your question. And I'm doing this. This is a free bonus. So I think Sabrina asked a question about having the experts. The benefit of having an expert is it propels you into another universe of exposure, right? So again, it's good to know your stuff, but if you can partner or bring someone on who knows their stuff too, and you guys tag team it, it doesn't steal the limelight from you. It actually enhances your shine. If I can use some colloquialisms, I guess, your shine, you know what I'm saying? So again, by featuring other people, it actually increases your credibility and your shine. So again, how to find your experts. I think I went a little bit into that tonight, but there's so many other ways. I have ways of finding people on Twitter, on Pinterest, people who are experts, and some people who are experts who they see what you're doing or what you're trying to do, and they don't want to be on, but they will blast it to their audience, right? So how do you do that? Here's another one. Now this is Twitter advertising. I know Sabrina, as a social media expert, you may already know this, but I paid for Facebook advertising courses and Twitter advertising courses. I found that Twitter advertising courses are a lot easier to pick up. And I paid $400 for it, flat out, because I know that if this is what I want to do, then I need to know all the different marketing channels that I can use and then try to figure out which ones work best. I did LinkedIn as well, but I'm not a huge fan of LinkedIn. But depending on your business, LinkedIn is an excellent place to go find experts, right? So again, but Twitter, I'm giving a free Twitter training, and here's the benefit of this. Even if you take this course and you never do a single solitary webinar, but you're in business for something else, you can use Twitter to directly target your competitors' followers. So for example, with Jay Carter with the One Music Fest, I can use Twitter to target all the people who follow Live Nation, because Live Nation is a big concert company, or Music Midtown, right? To target directly to their followers, and the competition will never know that you're doing it. So there are ways that Twitter has built that in. So, and you can do it for $5 a day. I think the course I did with Nicole, we did a Twitter campaign, and I did a Twitter campaign with this, right? So it works, right? All right, let's see, what else? Fill in the blank webinar template. So I'm going to give you guys the exact template that I use with all my high-end clients. Not only that, but if you notice, if I go back to, let's see, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back over to Jay Carter's webinar, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to my YouTube page and let you guys see some of my stuff. That's Jay Carter. Can you guys see, what do you guys see on your screen? If you would, just type what you see on the screen on here. Type what you see on the screen. YouTube, perfect. Okay, so these are some of the other designs. I've done so many different designs. I'm going to give you guys some of the designs that I've used, and let me, this is, it's going to take a second to load here, but I've designed several webinars. I'll give you those designs, and you can change it around however you want to, right? So again, and these are $100 designs that um, you can literally just change out and fix it to whatever you're gonna do if you decide to do it. All right. So let me pause this because it's tripping, and let me go back to the presentation. How about that? All right. Let me know when you guys are back with me. All right. So what is all this? This is just a complete.
It's just a little earlier, but
Hold on. Oh, that's Nicole.
it's just a different day.
Let's see here. Let me guys know if you can see the screen. So this is everything that we're talking about having with this training platform. This is all 6 modules. This is the bonus, and it's basically everything, right? So what is it? The big reveal. So listen, I'm doing this for $197 for the 6-week course, and it's plain and simple. What I did with my assistant and my team was like, okay, so what is a price that's fair, that people will actually buy it for, that works for people, right? So again, if you want to buy it right out, the first 10 people, and I'm thinking we're only going to take 20 to 25 people, so I'm going to do this a few times, maybe next year. But again, the first 10 people, if you want to join, totally up to you. If you don't, I want to make sure that you learn a lot tonight. So total price, $197 for the first 10 people. And do you guys have any questions? Any questions? Let me see here. Any questions? All right. So, yep, if you're interested, just go over to, I'm going to type the link in here. Let's see, chat. buy.webinarvana.com. I think that's the website. Yep. So if you're interested, just go over to buy.webinarvana.com. We have a couple different payment options. Number one, you can buy the whole thing, or if you don't have the 197, you can do 3 payments of $97. That's going to put it a little bit more on the back end, but again, you'll get in for $97. Let's see, any questions? All right, so let me see. I want to make sure I answer your questions. Thank you. Hey, all right, we got somebody signed up. What? Well, okay, three people in. All right, so again, I just want to open. There's no pressure whatsoever. If you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna chill right now, then that's cool too. I hope that you got a ton of value from what we did tonight. I tell you what, if you got value from tonight, just go ahead and type yes. Type yes in the chat window. And if you're considering joining, go ahead and type yes. And if you're not joining, tell me why. And just be honest, keep it real. If you're not going to join, just say, hey, I want to, but here's why I can't. And if you don't want to say nothing, don't say nothing. It's all good. Yep. So many people okay, cool, sweet. We'll have homework, step-by-step stuff. It's going to be more step-by-step because it's a lot more technical than actually me telling you to go research something, right? I think with this, it will all be recorded. So if you need to watch the recording, and here's what I did with the courses that I've taken. I will watch the video and then I will pause the video and go do it because I think they call it tactile learner. So I'm a tactile learner. So what I'll do is I'll watch it and I'll see step 1 and I'll say, okay, well, let me go do that. Right. So this is not a situation where I'm like, hey, go do some research on your market. No, we will do some of the stuff that we did, like reverse engineering stuff behind the scenes. I'll teach you how to find people on Pinterest who are glad to post to their 200,000 or 300,000 people. I'll teach you how to stalk people. I'm just kidding. I'll teach you how to find people who are experts in your niche and help you, figure that out. So again, that's it, guys. We have let's see what I will do here. Congratulations. Okay, we got another. We got folks coming in. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Questions. Oh, you liked it a lot. Well, thank you. So again, is this something that you guys see yourself, anything that you learned tonight that you're going to go out and try? Because that's ultimately what it's all about, is figuring out, okay, well, this worked for me. I'm going to give it a shot. And, maybe I'm not going to take the course right now, but I'm going to give it a shot. And I think what the training does is again, it literally just helps you move forward and without having to guess and try to piecemeal stuff together. Right. So that's ultimately why I want to do this. What's the next step once you purchase? Well, once you purchase, you're going to get, you should get a link to the training webinar. And again, they're going to happen. They will all be recorded. And you guys are gonna, here's the thing, we're gonna all do this together, right? So, we'll be on the call. We'll talk. I'll actually just open it up so that you can ask your questions. Let's see, any other questions? Let's see, all the time. So it's gonna be at 9 o'clock. We're looking at Tuesday nights, but it could be Tuesday or Wednesday nights. We're gonna start, let's see here. Let me look at my calendar just to make sure that I'm telling you guys the right date. So we're looking to start October 5th. October 5th is when we're gonna start. I'm sorry, October 6th. All right. So yeah, we're gonna start October 6th. We'll get this thing cracking. Again, we're only taking 25 people in this first one. Any additional costs like webinar access fee? I'm not sure that I understand that question. Webinar access fee. Membership. Oh, so there are paid webinar systems and there are free webinar systems. My preference is the paid one, simply because I have so many people on the webinars that I can't afford for it to not work. And the paid platform that I use, they guarantee, up 100% uptime. And then I can actually call them before the webinar starts, and I will have somebody standing by just in case there's something that I can't figure out. I've gone with the free ones. There's some free ones that I'll definitely tell you guys about, and they work just fine. But again, when you want guaranteed uptime, I think it's worth just shelling out the $60 or whatever it costs to 60 or 70 bucks or whatever to just get access to it. And also when you join, you will get I work with this webinar platform so much that they're giving, I think it's 20 or 30% off when you join, right? So when you sign up for their platform. So I have a discount code that you can use to use that platform that will save you 30% off the price. I can't remember if it's 20 or 30. So yep. So any other questions, guys? Any other questions? The time is 10:26, and we're gonna ease on down the road. Any other questions? Nope. All right. Well, again, if you guys if you're interested, just go to buy.webinarvana.com, and I will see you on the other side. And for those of you who aren't, that's perfectly fine. I appreciate you guys, and if one more time for questions, and if there are no other questions, I'm gonna call this thing a night, and I'm gonna ease on down the road. How about that? All right, no other questions? All right. All right, you're welcome. Thank you guys. Thank you well, first of all, thank you guys so much for signing up, because you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to be there tonight. So I definitely appreciate all you guys. All right. Bye-bye.